Kuro Games is scared to show Aemeath. That's what people actually wanted you to believe because of Columbina coming out. And then what do you think happened as soon as they showed Aemeath? Oh, she's not that hype. They just revealed her. Oh, they basically copied Cyrene from Honkai Star Rail. Oh, this character can't be as hype as Columbina. She's got no lore behind her. Regardless if they showed Aemeath or if they didn't show Aemeath, they would have had something to say. And by they, I mean the Hoyo shills. So if you are a Hoyo shill, and yes, this is a very crazy transition, but if you are a Hoyo shill and you want to get Columbina for cheaper, you might as well use LD Shop. Cue the ad. A website where you can get your game's currency at a discount starting at a whopping 15% off. It's actually really easy too, and it makes topping up a lot more affordable. Like in Genshin Impact, where they have a deal where if you want a character like Columbina, they have a bundle that lets you guarantee her. With this website, you can get a top up that's about $100 for just about $77. It's super easy to use. All you gotta do is head to the website using my link, which will also give you a 5% coupon, allowing you to save up to $50. Click the game you want to top up for, enter your UID in the server, confirm your order, follow through with checking out, and boom, your order will go through within minutes. It's super fast, very easy, and really convenient because it's cheaper than topping up in-game. It's extremely safe and reliable, and many people use it. And if it's your first time using it, there's a 50% discount for newcomers, so it's a perfect time to start using it. On top of that, if you spend $80, you get a free in-game pass, which can be claimed in the homepage. They also have other games like Honkai Star Rail, Wuthering Waves, which is my favorite, and Zenless Zone Zero, so you can go there and pick a game at your own leisure. Thank you, LD Shop, for sponsoring this video. Now, the thing I want to talk about in this video is the differences between the animations of Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves, because Genshin Impact is coming along almost 6 years old now. I think it's about 5 years old now, and Wuthering Waves is basically a year and a half years old. But the difference in the animation budget and the animation evolution is astronomical. Like, it's actually insane. And that's got me thinking, why doesn't Genshin Impact try to innovate their animations? They got the budget to do it. We've seen that it can be done in a gacha game. We see Wuthering Waves do it. And I was thinking, why am I even asking this question? I already know the answer to this. It's because they just don't care. From my perspective, I see Hoyoverse as a complete business first company. And what I mean by that is they don't care about their consumers. As long as their consumers are paying for their product, they're not going to try to change their product. So the issue with something like this is, take, what's that character's name? Castress, for example. He brought one of the most predatory mechanics into a gacha game, that being the global passive. And what did people do? A lot of people were being like, yo, you shouldn't pay for this, because if you pay for this, they're gonna think this is a good thing to do. They're gonna be, oh, we got a lot of ROI on this. We got a lot of return on investment on this. So what should we do? We should do that shit again. And what happened? Nobody listened, because they were at the top of the gacha revenue chart that month. So with that, they're thinking, well, if we put something on a character that is predatory, as long as the character has good lore behind it and people want the character regardless of how they look, regardless of how their animations are, they're gonna spend money on it. And that's all we really care about. And that's exactly what's happening with Columbina now. She's a super heavy lore driven character that people want specifically because of how she ties into the story, how she ties into the world of Genshin Impact, not because of her animations or anything. Her walk animation is pretty cool. I will admit that it's pretty all right, but it makes her feel, I feel like her walk animation is like the embodiment of Genshin Impact with how slow, and it feels like she got Rock Lee weights on, because she's literally like skipping in slow motion. She's quite literally running in slow motion. I feel like that's like the perfect indication of what Genshin Impact is. And even aside from that, her animations, even though she's a support character, so she doesn't really have that much field time, the animations that she has isn't revolutionary at all. And knowing that she's a character that everybody wants, everybody's going to want to get, because she's a super lore heavy character, and we've already established that they already know that people buy characters based off the lore. They know that this character is going to do well. So why didn't they even try to make it be a character that has, first of all, more screen time or more field time in your team, and second, a character that you would enjoy using the animations of? It's because they don't care. They're like, well, if we could just make something easy, that's all we got to do, because they're going to get the character anyway. So we really don't got to try. We actually don't got to try. That's exactly what they're thinking, which is unfortunate, because a real-time RPG open world game, I feel like it's supposed to be about the animations. But if your character isn't a character that feels so rewarding playing, then it's like, it's pretty unfortunate. And I know they want to keep their gameplay pretty simple so they can cater towards the casual gameplay, casual audience and everything like that. But the thing is, you can still find a way, which is something I think Wuthering Waves has done. You can still find a way to have a dynamic combat system that makes it feel pretty rewarding to the casuals and the entry players, and pretty rewarding for the hardcore players too, and not just put blue and red and make boom kaboom. And I think this is something you can clearly see with Wuthering Waves, with how the game started and where the game is right now, especially with Aemeath, because even the first characters that came out were characters like Jian and Yinlin, and they were pretty solid. They were pretty satisfying to play. And then characters like Camellia came out, and you're like, wow, this feels even better. It feels way more smooth. And then as soon as 2.0 dropped, and you're like, wow, this is an immediate jump in quality. And then it just kept going up and up. You had Zany come out, and then soon you had Cartethia come out, which then was the peak of how dynamic the combat system was, because she worked by herself, so you didn't have to think too hard. But if you did think hard enough, you would be rewarded a lot more for the way that you played her. So it's perfect for the casual players who just want to use her skill and transform and just destroy shit. And then it was perfect for the hardcore player base who wanted to optimize her and get her teams to make her be the best character in the entire game. And as well, because I thought it wouldn't get any better from there, which it honestly wasn't, because characters like Luba came out, she wasn't as good, but she was still fluid to play. And then characters like Augusta and Yuno came out, and they were like almost around the same tier and same level of efficiency and fluidity. Is that a word? Fluidity? Where you can play her pretty simply and you'll do pretty fine, but you can also try to optimize everything and you'll do a lot more damage, which is basically what it should be like. And then characters like Galbrana and Chuyon came out, and Chuyon's animations were a step above a lot of the other characters. Still not on par with Cartethia, because that was wild, but it still showed that they wanted to innovate their style of animations whenever they put out characters. And then 3.0 came out, motherfuckers were skating around, jumping around, it was pretty wild. And then they showed Aemeath, and then it was literally the power creep of animation to Cartethia. It was literally Cartethia's, the best things about Cartethia fused into like a perfect seamless style of gameplay. And the thing is, this is just an assumption from what I've seen from the gameplay leak that Geoff put out, and that motherfucker's name is Geoff, by the way. It's not Jeff, that's motherfucking Geoff. I don't care if he says his name is Jeff, that's motherfucking Geoff. But what I'm trying to get at is, I'm pretty sure that that character is going to be both great for the simplistic casual fan base that doesn't want to, you know, go too hard into min-maxing and trying to do all the perfect rotations to make sure she plays perfectly and just wants to button mash. And I'm pretty sure she's going to be a fun character for that as well. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure the players that want to min-max and want to go into the perfect rotations and everything will be able to find stuff like that that'll help them do a lot more damage and make them feel like there actually is a point in doing harder rotations and more intricate stuff in the game like that. That gives them satisfaction and rewards them for their gameplay. So it's like we have proof that it's not something that's impossible to do. So the fact that Genshin Impact isn't really trying to innovate their animations and stuff, I feel like is going to at some point push them behind. Like, I don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna be this year, I don't know if it's gonna be next year, I don't know if it's gonna be in 5 years when the game already has end of service. But with all the games coming out like Arknight's Enfield, Azure Promelia was gonna be wild, even Rewinding Cadence, which is supposed to be the Wuthering Waves killer too. All of these games are going to be pretty insane for innovating the animations, innovating the gameplay, and innovating how you play characters in a game, to where you go back to Genshin Impact and it's gonna be like, damn, my Columbina feels like she was made 10 years ago, and that's not okay. So that's basically going to be the beginning of the Gacha War, and it's something that I'm very excited for, because I know games like Wuthering Waves are going to try to do their best to keep up. I don't know if games like Genshin Impact are going to try to do their best to keep up, because they're going to be like, well, we're still going to make a decent amount of money, and if we put out a character that feels the people's hearts by how they look and how important they are in the story, it don't matter if they walk in 0.5x speed. But with that mindset, I think they probably will be left behind at some point. So I feel like 2026 is going to be the perfect year for gacha games, perfect year to see who will step it up, who will keep innovating, and the perfect year to see if Genshin Impact will still be the top of the food chain when it comes to these open world gacha games, because these gacha games are coming. Oh, they coming.